Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Flower Mound Marcus 7-on-7 state qualifier tournament. Here with the head coach of the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, Coach Jerry Edwards. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us between games with your kids.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out and supporting our kids. As always, Texas football does a tremendous job of supporting our athletes and our kids, and we appreciate it.
Coach, they pay me to watch football. It's not a bad gig.
Not at all.
Yep. Coach, first of all, you're entering year 2 at Colleyville Heritage. I thought last year you guys had a great year. You got, I think, 12-2, 11-3. Was it 12-2? Got to get that extra win, right? Yeah. Great year. Go all the way to the regional final. Lose a tough one to Frisco Emerson, but I think overall, I mean, year 1, I think I would classify as a success for you guys. Looking back on things, now you're in year 2, and I think you're a little more settled in, more of a normal off season. So just from today to a year ago, how much further ahead are your kids and knowing what to expect from the coaches and just overall in their understanding of the schemes?
Man, we've come a long ways. And the good thing about the Colleyville kid is they buy in and they do anything that you ask them to. And our kids have really gone to work and they've done an extremely great job of adapting to us and the changes that we made and buying in early. And I think that was the key thing. And that's kind of what I told them when I got the job is, can you buy in early? And they did. And so that was why we had a lot of success going 12-2. But going through an off season was great. I mean, having the kids for a full off season, our kids got better each and every day. And then we did spring football for the first time. Colleyville hadn't done it in about 6 or 7 years, and so to be able to do that and kind of have a step forward going into next season, it was a huge plus for us.
Looking at spring football, were there any position battles that you really were looking closely at? Maybe some positions that you wanted to see some young guys step up in? And then I guess the ultimate question, did you come out of spring healthy? Yeah,
we came out extremely healthy, and that was kind of the key when you go into spring football. You kind of make sure that when you're playing your practices and things, you keep everybody healthy. But, we had some question marks at receiver. We graduated a really good receiving core, and so we had to make sure that we found some guys that could step in and fill that role. Luckily for us, we still have Braden Blewett coming back, who's a big-time receiver. But you need guys around him, and so we were able to find them. And Bodie Weaver stepped in at quarterback and did a tremendous job, especially after losing Luke Ulrich, who was a
great player,
Superman on the field.
Yeah.
And then defensive line wise, we had a couple of DNs that we lost, and so looking around trying to find some guys that come in and replace those guys was kind of key to our spring.
You guys have already qualified for state 7-on-7, so you're here today just playing your pool play games, and you're going to head home. But when you're watching your kids in 7-on-7, I know most of your guys are here today. What do you want to see from them today?
Well, just cohesiveness and working together. Keep getting better at the little things, the small details, which our kids are doing. And our kids are resilient, man. They come out here and they just compete, and that's what you want to see. And that's why we do 7-on-7, to work on that team chemistry, but also to try out a couple wrinkles here and there, and then throw the ball around and get competitive and play really good, high-quality football teams.
And you get to go to College Station. You're going to play high-quality football teams down there at State 7-on-7. No bad teams down there for sure. How excited are you and your kids to make the trip down to College Station?
Well, last year we didn't qualify. I came in late right at the 7-on-7 start of the season, and we had some opportunities we missed it. But it's good for our kids to go back. Our kids kind of expect it and kind of expect being down there. And we want to kind of take some of this and relate it to real football as much as we can. But it's a good experience to go down there and play some of the top 5A and 6A programs in the state.
All right, now looking ahead to 2024, obviously the UIL, we all know 3-5A Division II, for my money, is the best district top to bottom in the state in Class 5A Division II. For you guys, I think you guys expect to be in the playoffs and expect to compete for a district championship. I know it's not going to be easy, but when you look at your district, it's going to bring some challenges each and every week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you're right. It's an extremely tough district. And then we open up the season with 2 12-win teams, Red Oak and then Richland. And so schedule is going to be pretty brutal for the Panthers, but we're excited about it, and we're ready to rise to the challenge. And we've talked about it in January or February when it came out. It's like, we want to play big boy football, and this is what we're going to do. And we want to play quality teams to prepare us for when we get to the playoffs and go on long runs. And but you look at our district, like you said, from top to bottom. I mean, there's going to be teams that don't make the playoffs that any other year would be in. It's going to make for great football. It's going to be true Friday Night Lights experience, because every game's going to matter. The stadiums are going to be packed out, and it's going to be quality football programs out on the field every night.
Is that one of those things when you get into the season, you're kind of already thinking about it? Every district game is so vital, right? Because you don't want to end up in a tiebreaker. You don't want to end up in a situation where you don't control your own fate. Right. Because, and I'm personally going to be brushing up on my tiebreakers because I think there might be one. I know you don't want to be in one, but it just magnifies the importance of every district game because anybody can beat anybody on any given night, right?
Yeah, you can't take any night off, and that's what we've talked about and we tried to address in the off season is, at 5A D2 level, Depth, obviously comes into play, and I mean, obviously with our competitors too, and I've talked to some of the head coaches in our district, and it's the team that can sustain the pounding every week and stay as healthy as they can to limp through the finish line, and that's kind of what it's going to be. But that's what it's about, and I think the teams that are standing after that district run have a really good chance to make deep runs once we hit the playoffs.
Now, it's a 9-team district also, and I'm interested from your standpoint. The prep, most normal districts, you play 3 non-district games and then you get into a bye week, or you play early district games, you have a bye week. In a 9-team district, your bye could fall at any time, and you're playing a key ball game in week 3. Does that kind of accelerate everything as far as the urgency in those 2 non-district games and seeing what you have and being able to evaluate because you're playing a big ball game so fast?
Yeah, well, luckily for us, we got a lot of returners coming back. We got 8 on defense and 6 on offense, 4 offensive linemen. So that's really, really key to us. And so for us, the first 2 games, playing playoff caliber football teams, it's making sure that we are working out the wrinkles and getting where we need to be. So when we do get to game 3, we open up with the Colony, and that's a huge, important game.
Good team, yeah.
Yeah, that we've got to be ready to rock and roll.
Final question for you, Coach. Now, I don't want to date you, but you've been doing this a little while. You've been around for a little while. And I know you were a young coach at some point. We all were young in our different professions. So interested from your perspective, who are some of the guys that helped you as a young coach and really you've kind of taken things from and been mentors for you? 'Cause, I mean, every coach, you guys are the biggest thieves in the world. You always steal something from everybody. But I know the guys that you work for are definitely big influences. So who are the guys that influenced you the most when you were a young coach?
Well, first and foremost would be Coach Hume at Mansfield Legacy. I worked with him at Clements High School and Mansfield High School, and he really did a great job of teaching me how to be a head coach and what to do, and I still rely on him heavily. Our first staff at Fort Bend Clements, there was 5 of us that were varsity guys, and we all wound up eventually being head coaches, and we still stay connected, and we go to AFCA every year together, and those guys are a good sounding board for me. But I wouldn't be where I am today without Coach Hume, who really helped me out. And then another coach that's been a big influence in helping my career is Dan Pike, who just took the S&S consolidated job. He was my offensive coordinator, assistant head coach for 10 years, and he was really instrumental in helping me get Harker Heights where it is today. And then he came here and gave me a year as the OC and really helped establish our culture and what we want to do here year 1. And then, and I'm happy for him that he took a head job. But those 2 guys were very instrumental in shaping me into the coach I am today.
Coach Pike told me when he got the S&S job he was going to be calling you, though. He said he had you on speed dial. So
He does. He still calls me. He texted me the other day. He goes, I might have to take you out of my favorites after 10 years. And I said, no, keep me there. You're going to need it.
There you go. Coach, let you get back to watching your kids. Appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas, and good luck to you guys and the Panthers in 2024.
I appreciate you. Go Panthers.